We all saw the transformation you did for all the Nelk boys, but especially Kyle. You were a big part of that. So if you guys don't know, Todd was a massive part of that transformation. Like
made Kyle a big body.
Yeah, tell us how you
even meeting them for the first time.
Yeah, tell us how
just like that process
happened.
too.
That was crazy.
Well, I took a side job a couple of years ago at Equinox as a personal trainer.
One of the best gyms, right?
Kind of coming out of COVID, had my sports training business. I was in one location and that closed down. So I had to find somewhere else to train my athletes, and I wasn't really sure how it was going to pan out. And someone suggested I get a job at Equinox. Could be a good opportunity there. So literally, started there at $15 an hour, going through their orientation, racking weights. And this was actually like 3 months after my spine fusion. So I literally was like recovering from spine fusion.
It's hobbling.
And I'm in there, and a big part of what Equinox teaches you is how to, strike up conversations and market yourself and promote yourself. Because in a gym, all these people, they didn't know who I was. Like, they didn't know I was like a trainer that had 25 years experience and train all these elite athletes. They just think I'm a trainer. And I'm usually, pretty modest person, and I'm only going to like boast about myself when I need to and justify myself. But my son has been watching Kyle and the Nelk boys since he was in high school. You guys know my son because you went to high school with him.
Shout out Troy.
And when he was a sophomore in high school, he was like showing me Kyle's videos of when they were going into like Target.
Moaning in people's ears at Walmart.
Well, the one I love the best is when he went into like Dick's Sporting Goods and he was like selling golf clubs. And Kyle was so fucking funny.
He is.
I was caught between, okay, this is bad, but these guys are funny. And then I started seeing Steve will do it, and he's pounding all his vodka, and I'm seeing Troy do that. And I'm like, I'm hearing, a couple times.
A couple Steve will do it
he was out, and, and I'm like, I was telling Troy, no.
Yeah.
It's not going to be good for you. But anyway, I did know about him. So here I am working at Equinox, and one day I see Kyle and Jimmy, and I don't remember if Steiny was there, but I saw Kyle in all this full send gear, and I'm like, fuck, that dude looks like Kyle. And then I'm like, all right, I need to go say hi to him. I'm going to be that guy, because if I can get a selfie with him, my son's going to fucking shit his pants.
Yeah. Was everyone like looking at them, or was there a lot of people in there?
That Equinox is like kind of like an older crowd. And
chill.
Yeah. People, it's kind of like a lot of successful people there, and people kind of, people say stuff to them, but I mean, everyone's kind of pretty cool.
Yeah.
So they were coming in, and I saw that. I went over, I'm like, bro, you look just like Kyle. Is that you? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, dude, you gotta let me take a selfie for my son. Like, he's like, yeah, sure, no problem. Like, took a selfie, sent it to Troy. He's like, no fucking way. And then, I went about my job, and then I started seeing them coming in and working out and doing their thing. And I was like, all right, I don't know if they have a trainer or if they're following a program. And I'm watching what they're doing, and I'm like,
what were they doing?
Yeah, they were actually, they were doing some decent stuff, like kind of like
Tossing
circuit
the
training.
heavy ball back and forth, or what?
They were like doing some weights, and then doing some jumping jacks, and just kind of at the bench press, and they were doing stuff. But I obviously was thinking, oh fuck, if I could train these guys, I could like take them to a whole nother level. So how am I gonna do this? So like one day, I just started kind of like planting seeds with them. I have a big hockey background. I found out they're from Toronto, and I used to train some guys for the Maple Leafs, and just try to, make a little small talk. And, this really is outside my comfort zone, because I didn't want to be like that guy that was kind of like trying to, leech on them. And
because I'm sure they get it a lot too. From
but at the same time, like, I wanted to train them. I thought the dude's fucking funny as shit, and they're here working out, and like none of our trainers are training. So I'm like, I need to make a move, or someone else is gonna, or, if I don't, I'll never know. And there's been times in my career when I had opportunities to approach people and just go for it, and I didn't, and I regret it. And I'm like, fuck, that was my moment. Like, but in my mind, like, oh, I don't want to be a douchebag, or I don't want to be that guy.
Takes one conversation.
Yeah, but at this point, I'm like, you know what? I don't give a fuck.
Worst they can say is no.
Worst they can say is no. and maybe they'll say yes. And so after a couple conversations with them, I was like one day I'm like, Kyle, yo, you guys want to get a workout in with me? And he's like, sure, let's do it. And I was like, fuck yeah, let's go. And like trying to line it up. I was going out of town the next week with the Missionville football team to Hawaii. He was out of town, and like, so it didn't happen till like 2 weeks later on like, it was on Labor Day. I came in and trained him, and it was a great workout. And he's like, hey, can we go in tomorrow? Set up an appointment. Next thing I know, I'm training him and Jimmy. And now it turned into like 6-7 days a week training for like a year and a half. Wow. Anytime they were here, I was training them. And he is the greatest dude. All the guys that I've met with the whole Nelk crew. And I started training John Shahidi, their partner that runs Happy Dad and other things that they do. Just like the coolest people I've ever met, and super into their fitness and wanting to get in shape. And when I first, met Kyle, he was out of shape, and so was Jimmy. And, I did an assessment on them, took their body composition, took photos, took their girth measurements. I'm like, look, guys, if we're going to do this, like, it'd be great to get these metrics on you now, so down the road we can look back and you can see your progress. And so started training, they started making progress, and like, it's tough for them because they have all these appearances, and they're selling an alcohol, and a lot of times people want them to drink and do that. And so, but Kyle's like one of the most dedicated clients I've ever had.